Evening, everyone. Nobody's streaming. Apparently, it's summer holiday. My question is, where is Jeff Pelham? So I decided to go live, and here we are. We're doing water changes. Woot! So let's have some fun together. Let's do some stuff. Let's have a time. So, right, let's get to it. I have my phone that I can add as a camera. We can also have some people join us on the stream. We'll see what's what. See if anybody's out there, but good to see everyone. Hello, replay crew. This is going to be uh, it's going to be a water change live stream, kind of hanging out, chilling out like we used to do back in those home confinement days around 2020, 2021, when we all had to sit around at home and we were tired of talking to our families because they don't like fish. So we would talk to each other. Reminiscent of those times. Jose and I were talking about that last week. Well, 6 days ago, not even last week yet. Almost last week. All right, I got too many boxes, first of all. Power cord's in the way. I got plenty of buckets. Plenty of buckets. Oh, there they are. Hello. Yeah, it's not usually tonight, Jeff Kane. I'm here because nobody's here. I was like, I went to fishfam.link and it said that there was a stream scheduled for tomorrow, and I was like, it's 9:30 where I'm at. I can't do it. Hello, Cece. Aquapotne. Catahoula's. Huawei. Yeah, I'm doing water changes. What? It's Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm gonna be on Jorge's channel at 6 p.m. my time. So 6 p.m. Central. Um, I've tried to escape getting plugged into the community, but looks like it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So if you keep avoiding Jorge's invitations, he'll just come and visit you in Texas and coerce you into doing a show. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like, don't make him go to all that trouble. Just kidding. I drove to see him in San Antonio. He was there visiting family. It's not like that at all. There he is. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, buddy. I didn't watch the one tonight. I was about to like watch some replays and stuff like that, but Jorge and I were talking over cigars, like gentlemen do, you know. And he was like, "Yeah, man. Like back in the day, there used to be like hangout streams. They'd go on for like 6, 7 hours." Things like that, nobody's doing that anymore. I was like, I guess because we all like the world turned back on and we all like had to go back to our jobs and everything. But I'm off tonight, so let's do the hangout. It's an old thumbnail. I just grabbed one of the other ones. What else is going on? Man, there was something I was going to say. It was probably a lie because I can't remember it. Yeah, no, he'll come to Wisconsin. He'll come to Wisconsin and be like, "Hey, man, like, I was on your show, and then you were going to be on my show, and that was like 2 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I feel kind of bad about that. I mean, less bad now. Enough time has passed. But yeah, I did that. Not not my greatest moment. I like to do things that I say I'm going to do. Technically tomorrow I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm just on my own timetable, guys. It is what it is. So yeah, everybody settle in. We gotta pull some water out of these tanks. I don't think I can pull that far. I got buckets of plants in the way. Let's get rid of that. It puts the hose in its mouth. Oh, vitamins. Lots of vitamins. So yeah, I'm gonna drain a tank and then catch up on chat, and then I'll drain another tank and catch up on chat, and we'll do it that way. Should be a nice evening. I had a head strap with like a thing that would hold my camera, so like the camera would be on my forehead. It looks ridiculous, but like it would be like the water change cam. So I might look for that in a second. I might give it a good 5 minute look. I mean, like, I know I didn't throw it away. We all know that. But welcome in, everybody. Make yourselves at home. I'll catch up on what's going on in chat in a second. This is a fish room hangout. This is where we hang out. Might have a guest on here in a second. I could send a link. If you're interested in popping up, say so in the chat. I'll catch up with you in a second. We can make it happen. I could use somebody to keep their eye on the chat while I keep an eye on the tank. These first 3 tanks that I'm doing, I don't have to worry about, but pretty much every other tank, I'm gonna have to worry about sucking up fish. So I gotta find my net that I put over the end of my siphon. We're doing rough water changes tonight, and just took a bunch of the duckweed off of everything. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I have 4 tanks on the floor now, which isn't that great because how do you siphon something that's sitting on the floor? With some trial and error into a bucket, it turns out. And sometimes I can't use this largest siphon that moves the water real fast. But yeah, this is my 44-gallon brute trash can with the dolly on it. Dolly's like freaking like $45 now. Trash can's probably like 40, and I'm probably off on the price because I bought this a while back. It's probably gone up, unfortunately, but well worth it, especially if you don't have something to drain into inside your garage, which is where I am. I want to get a sink put in, but I've been saying that for 5 years. So yeah, I don't think we're any closer to getting there. Well, maybe closer, you know what I mean? But like, no telling when that's going to happen. I got the money, I just don't want to part with it. But it would be good to have a sink in here Because when there's dirty dishes in the sink and then I rinse off a tray that had duckweed all over it, all over the dirty dishes, kind of escalates criticism from the wifey. She does not like that. But I'm all cozied up in here. I got water in here. I got iced coffee that I didn't drink last night. Guys, I went to bed at like 2 a.m. and then slept. And then I watched, I watched like probably like 6 episodes of Andor today. Man, do I like Star Wars, uh, the Star Wars stuff that they're coming out with. I don't know, man. It's like a space soap opera. You know what I mean? Like I can't stop. But I'm out of episodes now, so Andor's over. I think there's some other things that I can watch. I haven't yet. I'm all caught up on Rick and Morty. So still doing good. Oh man. Vinoski's tanks up in here. Good to see you, sir. Boots Cat, Sleeper Barbecue. Yeah, CC, you were moving a 75 gallon last week. I think that's what Jeff Kane was saying. I was like, I don't know whether she's going or not. And Jeff was like, she was moving a 75 gallon earlier all by herself. He was like, I'm pretty sure she's not going. You might be resting up. So I hope you're on. I hope you're not. Hope you're not injured or anything. Let me know how you're doing. That's weird. CC said hi at the beginning, but I don't see her in my chat anymore. Let me look up at the top. Did I do a bad thing? No, she was there right at the beginning and said hello. I see her little thing. All right. See her little moniker. Little two fish swimming around each other. I assume rice fish. I'm assuming rice fish. Huawei stopped watching. After the disappointing prequel trilogy, forgot about Rick and Morty. Thought it was canceled. Yeah, they apparently like I wasn't keeping up with the drama, but apparently the guy who voiced Rick is out. They got somebody else who sounds the same. So you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's a whole like hero's adventure thing. You know what I mean? Like the formula. You know what I mean? I very much like that. It's very storytelling. What like that's been around since the earliest things that like I ever read, like Odysseus. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff like back there. And before that was written down and stuff like that, there was like oral tradition. So like, you know what I mean? Like the pattern has been the same. Well, I mean, it's a pattern, so you can kind of lay it over anything, you know what I mean? And like things line up, you know what I mean? So I guess people don't necessarily have to be following that in order to do it. You know what I mean? Like high fished page. Well, it's like there's a problem, easy fix, unintended consequences. You know what I mean? Like, and then what? There's like three other things that happen. You know what I mean? But like, that's the pattern of the thing. And then there's like an overarching thing, kind of follows the same thing, kind of. Yes, but multi-dimensional. dick and fart jokes. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it so good. Jody P, good night. Yeah, we're changing water over here and having a fabulous chat. Like, we're just chilling out. There is no agenda. Not that there's much of one. I mean, like, we look at a tank. You know what I mean? Like, that's my whole shtick. Like, you know what I mean? There's not even really that many steps. Or I share the adventure that I was just on, like if I went somewhere or something like that. That's kind of what it's been like for the last month and a half. And then, because what I went to the fish store, saw Jose last week, and got the tank undone. So like last week's episode was really good. So I hope you guys aren't expecting something that good on Wednesday, but I do have time to get it together. Maybe we'll see. As of right now, it's probably gonna like last week was like up here, so like we're gonna go like right back down here. Like we hang out right at the edge of this little table right here at the bottom of the fish tank, right there. That's where my streams usually land, right about there. It's not horrible, you know what I mean? But like, it's not last week either, you know. Like I had a lot to share. Hi, Stephen P. Oh, happens to me all the time. I know that is 95% of the. I lay down and take a nap. Most of the time, I don't fall asleep. If I do fall asleep, it's going to be 4 hours. You know, sometimes it's like 8, and then like I wake up. I wake up and it's 12:30. It's 12:30 a.m. and everybody who live streamed that evening is already done, and I'm like sad. So I hit some replays. And usually don't empty any tanks of water. But as you can see over, well, this shoulder right here, we've already started. So I mean, like, why stop now? Doc, awesome. Yes, sir. It's not Wednesday, but nobody's streaming right now. So I wanted to hang out with people like in a chat to tell people that I'm doing my water changes. But since nobody was streaming, I decided to live stream and tell everyone, "Hey, everybody, I'm doing water changes. What are you guys doing?" So you know what I mean. Like if you're in the middle of something, like get back to it. You know what I mean. But like if you can hang out, like I don't know, like let's have a time. Doc, awesome. Yeah, Doc, awesome. Like I'm in demand right now. Like I'm doing this pop up right here. Tomorrow night, I'm on Mexicali stream. I'm gonna get discovered because I'm a small channel and I need y'all's help. Got to stay small, stay humble, guys. Edited content, don't put it out. Gonna get big. Don't do it. Got to stay small. Keep that edited content to yourself. I'm not holding back any edited content. I just don't have any. I don't have any edited content. That's what the problem is. But it's good to see everybody. Yeah, and then Doc, and then I'm on at my normal time. You know what I mean? Just in case you can't sleep or something on Wednesday. What up, vibes? Nobody's streaming tonight, buddy. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Grant got off, and then like within 15 minutes, Aquafunk got off, and I didn't even have a chance to. I didn't even have a chance to put anything in his chat, tell him happy birthday or nothing, man. But you know, he'll probably have a good birthday, even though I didn't tell him happy birthday. You know what I mean? It seems like everybody forgets, you know? Feel bad for him. But yeah, man, we're all here because we're not all there. All right. More water. Okay, where's the thing? Oh, I put that in water. That's not good. That goes in the laundry. There we go. Wow, the camera adds 10 pounds. Just kidding, guys. That's what it looks like. Shame. It's a shame. So, yeah, since I talked to you guys last week, I have not done any crunches. I did mow the yard today. It was only 86 degrees outside, but with all the rain we've been having and stuff like that, the mosquitoes are basically anywhere where the sun isn't shining, there's a shadow there. That shadow is made up of mosquitoes. So don't step into the shadow out of the sun. It's all mosquitoes. Like, that's what's going on right now in Austin. But yeah, the air was nice and thick. So yeah, by the time I was done mowing the yard, I'm really thankful that I have a small yard. You know what I mean? Like, most people are like, "Oh man, I wish I had a bigger yard." Not this guy, dude. It's just like my fat butt is like ready to collapse. You know what I mean? And like, I've only gotten through half of a very small yard. So yeah, no, I was glad when it was over. I watched a bunch of Star Wars afterwards, and that made me feel better. So I've been staying in the air conditioning where it's nice. Vibes for dinner tonight. Oh, I had two French bread pizzas. Earlier in the day, I had chicken salad on uh, Ritz crackers. Um, I ate something else yummy when I got up, but I can't remember what it was, and it wasn't a breakfast food. I don't know. It'll come to me. Yeah, a little bit wet in Austin, y'all. Vibes ain't lying. I took the duckweed off of one of my ponds. My ponds are full of mosquito larvae. Thinking about moving gambusia out there. They are not called a mosquito fish for no reason. And, those are Collection Point, Brushy Creek. So, might be good to have some more of those around. Oh, yeah, no, it's like swallowing pepper. You're like, mosquitoes, man. All right. So, I basically use this honker. What? This is like 3/4 inch tube. So it moves a lot of water. And depending on how high up in the air I am, it moves it a lot faster when it falls straight down. Everybody knows that. Basic, basic stuff. But yeah, that's how I do my water changes, y'all. So let's drain. Let's drain some more. I'll be back. Yeah, y'all keep waiting because I'm gonna end up with a mouthful of water, and hopefully it's not one of my green tanks. Although, does the green water taste fresher than the clear water? I wouldn't think so. So yeah, I haven't fed anybody in here yet, so they're gonna there might be some animosity. for not putting food in the tank and putting a tube in the tank to take the water out. But my coolie loaches love it. They bounce around. And I'm not sure whether it's the water change or whether they don't like the dechlorinator. But both of those things happen, and then they bounce around in the tank. They get the zoomies. I got mosquitoes in here. What the heck's going on, man? I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed in the fact that there's mosquitoes in the garage. Some bullcorn. So Doc Awesome, I got my low boy, my 50-gallon low boy in place. I took 4 20-gallon longs out. That's what I did. That's what I did last week. So I got that down at that Lone Star Cares convention I was at with Vibes. Zoom Ed was there, so I was able to get her done. All right. One more and we're good. For this bucket. My bucket's full. My bucket was already like had water in it from last week. Dirty water in it from last week, so we got to spray it real good before we clean these guys. But draining the tanks is the most fun. I guess I might do some spot cleaning of glass and stuff like that tomorrow and on Wednesday to get everything prepared. But I'll probably do all the water changes tonight because I've gotten myself used to like doing them all at once. So let's see if we got some volunteers to join this madness or what. Overly overstocked Oscars. Yeah, you do too. Well, your tanks are so much bigger. Like you saw me moving across the top over here. Those were 10 gallons with a 3/4 inch hose. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm draining each one for like 24 seconds and I'm doing like a 20% water change. It's pretty good. Hey, back to bed vibes. Yeah, man. We're just chilling out. What green juice? Green water in the tank. I hate it. Yeah, I do too, but it's so odd. It like comes and goes. Like the tank that has been green for like, I don't know, probably like 6 weeks. Now that one's not green. The one next to it is. Just became green. It just became green, and it's the coral platies, and the coral platies have babies in there. So we're doing great. We already got more. The jalapeno bugs. Yeah, man. Dry in Peru right now. Yeah, that's right. Because what? I mean, like, it's on the other side of the equator. So, like, Doc Awesome, it's kind of like the opposite, right? If Peru was farther away from the equator, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't just be dry season. It would also, like, be colder. But Amazon stays kind of the same all year. Your difference is wet and dry. It's kind of like that here. I mean, like, it gets colder in the winter, but that's usually when we get all the rain. Oh, you're on the bucket brigade. Yeah, I'm on. I mean, it's the bucket brigade. Like, no matter how you're doing it, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of always going to be like that. Like, basically, I'm still on the bucket brigade, except I take all those buckets. Now it's just one big bucket. You know what I mean? And it's on wheels, and I have to, like, roll it out. And yeah, it's a lot. Hey, that's right, June. My tanks look awesome, and you want to know why? 720p. That's why. You know what I mean? It's just like, any algae on the glass? You're not going to pick that up from across the room. Not at 720p. Like, at yeah, it in person, the tanks look a lot different than they do, like, on screen. Like, it's basically like when you would go to the mall to glamour shots and get your pictures taken. Like, the you know what I mean? Like, it's all blurry. You know what I mean? Like, glamour shots. Yeah, June. Yeah, you're removing so many more gallons than I am. I think my water bill every month is $60, but only $36 of it is water. So I was thinking about, like, maybe I should conserve water and do water changes every couple weeks instead of every week. What, to save $18? It's like, not really. Not really. All right. You guys are gonna hear me wrestle with the garage door and dump the water. I'll be right back. Oh, look, fish tanks. All right. Just to get this thing down a little bit. All right. Well, we just dumped the water out the garage. Well, it's not in the garage, so we got that going for us. I pulled it off of that 2-inch lip, and it hit just right, so it was a flat spot with the wheels, and the whole thing went down. So usually I try to get it down onto the driveway, get it to come up over the top of the trash can, like, hit me in the leg. You know what I mean? So one leg's wet. You know what I mean? That's how you know you're water changing. If one of your legs is wet, and then I drag it to the edge of the driveway, and I do in front of the car and behind the car on the left and right side of the driveway. And 4 buckets is about what it takes to empty this fish room. Maybe a fifth one if I did the 75 in the living room as well. But I just put a bunch of the duckweed that I pulled out of all these tanks in there. So the goldfish, not wanting to eat duckweed started by sifting all of the sand in the tank. And I was like, guys, I know that you see the duckweed up there and you know you're going to eat it. I know you don't want to, but you know you're gonna. But they sifted all the sand on the bottom first. You know what I mean? And like now they're chewing up duckweed, spitting leaves. Yeah, if more people moved in, it would be a different story. I'm billed by the number of bedrooms. Yeah, they do a weird thing here, and it's uh and I assume that it has to do with the number of bedrooms or something like that, to start, or maybe it's just the number of people. I'm not sure that live in the house, but it's a certain amount at a certain rate, and then it's tiers. So anything over such and such amount of gallons is then you go into the next tier and you're paying for more. And then when you go into the third tier, you're paying even more. You know what I mean? But yeah, but there's a certain amount that's at like a very low rate. But still, it's just not very much. Yeah, all of my bills, like what gas natural gas was $5 in natural gas, and then $45 in different fees and stuff like that. So my gas bill is $45 if I don't use any gas because I'm connected to the gas. So yeah, they got it all worked out where I give them a bunch of money. I was like, oh, that sounds like an excellent plan. Good job, guys. Good job. But hey, man, if I can't cook my chicken nuggets because they turn the gas off, you know what I mean? I'm going to be much more upset than if they just come every month and take my money. So, M&C, good to see you. Yeah, my stove is gas as well. But here in Texas, we're sitting on a ton of natural gas. Like Plano, like has more natural gas under it than like a lot of. I think it might be one of the largest reserves in the world, if not the largest. And yeah, so the gas itself is $5, but all the fees, all the fees are like 45. So like okay, $50. But I'm not complaining. I think that what with like what it's electricity, trash, gas, water. I think that's all the utilities. All of those are like $311 for the month, and it might go up to 375 or something like that. Because it was like I don't know whether it topped 90 today in Texas, which is very odd. We're usually stringing together 100 days in a row over 100 degrees, but we just had 2 days 100 degrees in May, and we didn't have one in June. And then we're in July now, and I don't know that we've had a day over 100 yet. They keep they keep talking about it. They keep getting excited about it. You know what I mean? Because we don't have enough things to report weather-wise. Or that's the other good news they want to tell us. It's like flash flooding. It's just like, oh, we might get over 100 next week. Like, be scared. HHD, hey man, I'm sorry I missed your stream earlier. I was freaking watching Star Wars like a dork, and when I stopped to look at what time it was 7:30 here, which means 8:30 where you are, which means I missed it. I missed it, bro. I missed it. Oh, Ben, stealing our weather. You can keep that. You can keep it. Love you too, Team Jake. Um, well, yeah, all of your stuff is one bill. Yeah, same here, City of Austin. Yeah, no, I'm glad you got solar. That's good. Well, yeah, man. I mean, like with Jake, like what? It's like it's part of being our age. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like 15 years ago, I wasn't talking about my utilities. I'll tell you that much. You know, you know what I mean? But today, it's been on my mind. Yeah, God. Meh. Let's all get old and crotchety together. You youngins, just laugh at us. You'll be here. Bougie Bish Fish, still doing good. Look at this. Actually, it comes through real well with the lights, with the tanks behind me. I'm feeding it. It's going down their gullets. Oh, you swam with River instead? Okay. Well, good. I'm glad I didn't miss anything. Cheryl Smith, welcome in. Yeah, thank you, Stan. I haven't touched it since the live stream. Um, what? Yeah, yesterday was my first day off, and I slept and then stayed up, made coffee, only drank half of it, went to bed at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, just couldn't get it together last night to like do anything, which you know what I mean, like is always my plan, but usually I don't get anything done until Wednesday. So I will say that the fish events in May and June, going to see in Jorge last week, um I will say that I am on a roll as far as like not being the best example of sloth. And yeah, so I started coming out of that this spring. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like it was like a year and a half. It was just like just doing basic water changes was about all I could do. You know what I mean? Like that and go to work. You know what I mean? Other than that, just like just laying around. You know, just doing the bare minimum. Which there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I was feeling like I was resting up for now. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I guess it'll all happen at the right time. You know, it's just trust, right? Just let go and let God, y'all. Stan, right now, I want celestial pearl danios, and I want two other small nano size fish, possibly micro size fish, and like I want like a good group of each of them, and I want them all swimming around. So basically, I want to do a nano tank in a low boy, and I want to play around with the aquascape, and I want to play around with some more plants, and I want to play around with some mosses and plants that can be out of the water, maybe with just their feet wet, maybe on top of that lava stone and stuff like that. I'd like to get like a really small scale so that then when you're looking at the tank, because it's at knee level, you're looking at the tank, so you're looking out across the water as well. I want to kind of like the scale to kind of be like you're like looking at it from like, I don't know, maybe not a plane, maybe more like a hot air balloon or something like that. You know what I mean? And like you're seeing like it looks kind of like a coastline or something like that. And maybe the little bitty fish that are in there can look like really big fish. Or it'll be more of a riverbank looking thing if I can't get the scale right. You know what I mean? Like it would not be, I would not be able to produce that much distance like in your mind when you're looking at it. Um, but yeah, I was kind of thinking like I was looking at a lot of like iwagami like type uh aquascapes and stuff like that, and like would have been nice to find three different stones that I really liked, and then put some like sacrificial stones around that, like traditional iwagami. But I will group stones so that it is three so that there's three main rock formations. You know what I mean? So like there's three groupings of rocks, and that's like the more modern iwagami, like where it's going. You know what I mean? But like traditionally, you would have a rock, a supporting rock, and then like a third rock, and then everything else after that would be so much smaller that they're not like the main focus, but the main focus is 3 points. And I don't know, like those tanks are the ones that like usually have like a carpet of something and stuff like that, and then like three large rocks and stuff like that, and then you see the fish in there. It's very minimalist, so then there's just all that space. So then like the fish look like it looks like a landscape, and like the fish that are in there like look like birds. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just my interpretation of it. I can tell you right now that what I have told you is probably not correct. Well, technically, Mike is wrong. So it's like I'll tell you that right now. No need to type that in the chat. I got you. This the meetup weekend with Cheryl and RJ. What? That'll be fun. Skull's going on a trip? Oh my goodness. I'm out of the loop. Let me see what Cheryl said. We'll put it up here on the boom. For that tank, I'm thinking nah. I don't have desires for the CO2 as of yet. Um, I want to get past this basic plant level. I know that CO2 is like how you get there, but I feel like there's uh, another level of there's another level. There's probably another couple levels of aquascaping if you look around. If you look around and notice, there's probably a couple levels of at least a couple levels of aquascaping that I can do um, to improve my skills, right? And probably like at least one level of more difficult plants. You know what I mean? And like start to work with some fertilizers and stuff like that. And before I do CO2. So I feel like there's still some room for growth before I add the CO2. So I'm not thinking just yet. Scroll back and a little Katie and Jake. I'm having trouble with my mouth. Wait till you all have to pay bills. Oh, Katie, I have a surprise order. Okay, Jeff has a surprise order for Katie and Jake. Ooh. Better than talking about what ails us. I was like, everything ails us. Like right now, dude, like right now, it's just like, look, I know that there's a lot of problems in the world and stuff like that, but every time I step outside, the mosquitoes coming for me, like in large numbers. You know what I mean? Like I have pressing items. That and flies. What's up with the flies? Great year to be a fly, I'll tell you. I've seen more flies this year than I have in the last five. I don't know. I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, Cheryl, you came home with two new species of cories. That's huge. Oh, you had it on Top Chat. Yeah, that's always the thing. I don't think when I'm like in the studio here, I think that it just shows everything. I don't think there's a Top Chat or the regular. I think that's just a YouTube gig. Hello, USA. Oh yeah, the super tiny leaf plants that can make my scale look pretty rad. Yeah, not having CO2 might be the thing that makes it a riverbank. You know what I mean? M&C, yeah, you're thinking Dutch style. Yeah, can you do a Dutch style without CO2? It seems like anybody that's do or maybe the tanks that I see that are doing Dutch style also are using CO2 because like they got it like that. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like none of your scrappy DIY like cheap channels are doing Dutch style because that's too much money in plants. Just to start, it's just like just to start, it's like no, we're not doing that. That's too expensive. Gold laser and long fin panda cories. Well, I mean, if you're gonna get a panda cory, get a long finned one. I mean, like I'll take a short fin panda cory. You know what I mean? Like, well, I saw a panda. It was a long time back, and it hasn't come back around again. But like, I saw a tank where they made the tank look like a panda as well. Like they did like an outline around the tank, and like it was like a panda, and then everything in the tank was like so there were panda cories, uh, uh, what panda loaches, uh, no, not panda loaches, pandagara, and then there's a couple different like there's panda guppies out there. There's panda everything. But like the whole tank was like all panda stuff, and I was like, I was like, I do love a theme, like, so yeah, that's one of my bucket list tanks. Steven, I have a plant question for you in a second. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Long-finned albino Aeneas. It's a good name for a bleached beehole. Albino Aeneas. That's what was so cool about that garden spider that I had on my front doorstep. Like it was like really nice and like put a web in front of the light outside of the door. And I just got like your standard porch light that's like on the wall right there, just comes up like looks like it's basically the shape of an upside down like jelly jar. You know what I mean? Like, and the light was in there, and it put the web in front of that, and it made sure the web was not in the way for us walking in and out of the doorway. And I was like, this is the coolest spider ever. Like, I'm not into spiders, you know what I mean? But like, I thought that was pretty cool, and like really like racking up the moss. And this winter it died. It put up an egg pouch. I took the egg pouch. I walked it way off into the woods in between my houses and the houses like in the next neighborhood over. Walked it into the woods and like put it underneath what an egg carton, the one that's made out of paper. So the paper egg carton, I cut one of the little egg holders off of it, and I put it in the tree, and I tucked it inside of it, and I put it upside down so it would be safe from the rain. You know what I mean? And like, hopefully, there's a bunch of garden spiders like antagonizing all the people on their bikes and the people jogging every day. Millions of babies making webs across the trail. You know what I mean? But like, they come from good genes. Maybe they don't do that. You know what I mean? Like maybe they make their stuff like next to the trail. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's what I did for them. Very true. Geez, I got to get these guys out of the tank with my electric blue Acaras and my Geo. They're eating eggs every time they spawn before I can get to them. Yep. 051 Corey's. Panda. Panda, panda, panda. Oh, Cheryl. Happy birthday. I guess maybe belated. I don't know. Hasbro's 003 Decker, Orange Venezuelan, Red Sailfin, False Julii, and Slate Corys. Nice. I like the little skunk Corys. Heck yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I mean, like Corey sickness is like. I mean, like I got it as a newer fish keeper. You know what I mean? But I assume that everybody gets it at some point. I mean, like some of these people with these Cory collections and stuff like that, like you can't have that many different types of Corys and like only be like 2 years in. You know what I mean? Like so, obviously, obviously, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the hobby. Cory sickness is forever. Can't get rid of it. But I want to get. I want to get some more coffee. So figure out what we're doing next. Hold on. What can I do to get a different view? Because I'm doing the far side of the fish room. How long is this cord? Are we doing it with the cord or without the cord? Maybe with the cord. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. All right, guys, hold on. I gotta move some things. You know, you always say to yourself, why am I keeping so many empty boxes? And you know why you keep your empty FX6 box? Well, because FX6s are so freaking expensive. But you can set it on top of 3 buckets full of plants right here, like this. Then we got a platform, baby. And we take that platform. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now we got a better view. Even turn it a little bit more, and then there's the stuff on top of the television stand. Let's look at my aquascape for a second. See, have my camera stand from last week, right where I left it. So, coffee. Coffee doesn't make itself, folks. My mic might go a little weird as I move away from the computer, but we'll see. My iced coffee, I've been throwing in this oat milk creamer. This flavor is coffee cake. So we do about a third, and we pour regular coffee over it. My coffee blend this week, folks, is Dunkin' Original Blend. Dunkin'. Happy Go Nuts. So let's see how that did. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. I like that. Come on, let's suck some more water, y'all. All right. Here we go. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work. I didn't suck on it hard enough. I'm too scared of getting a mouthful of water. But you got to get the siphon started. It's a gamble. It's all a gamble. But I don't think I've gotten a mouthful of siphon water, of tank water from starting the siphon on a live stream. I don't think I've done that yet. So what? Like, check it off the list. Is anybody still doing the freaking live stream bingo? That was a thing for a hot minute. What are y'all talking about? MTS hoarding. The side effect of the syndrome. Yeah. Deb's Aquatics. Hope you slept well. Hope you have a good day at work. Good to see you. Kind with the flip out tab rather than the screw type. You're always pointing up for. Oh, wow. Can't read too many comments while I'm freaking 10-gallon siphoning. Woo! I told you guys I got platy babies from those coral platies I got at the auction last month in San Antonio. Good times. Oh, I'm a scaredy cat. Here we go. Oh, wow, that was close. It's still a thing. Okay, good. KNF Concepts is a nice compromise. Are y'all talking about CO2 or something different? The rosy barbs are concerned. They're hanging close together away from the siphon that has been placed in the tank, and they're like, yep, the water's definitely going down. It's definitely going down. I don't like it. Tripods. Okay, yeah, no, mine has the flip out tabs. Yeah, this thing was pretty cheap, and it'll spin left and right, and then I can also tilt it up and down. And I have found with my shop lights that I have that if I go up above the tank and then angle down a little bit, I can get rid of the glare. Because if I just have it straight on, I'm still getting glare from above the top of the tank, like in here. But if I go above and then angle it down, not even very much, but yeah, I like those. I'm pretty happy with mine. Oh, and I want to show you this ridiculousness. So this is like an arrow leaf like plant of some kind that was at my friend Anna and Nate's house, and they gave us some, and it overwintered in the garage in this pot, and then got moved over here. And it has grown enough to where it has decided it wants to come out of the pot, then bent down, then came out, hooked into this plant right here, and then does another right angle, and then grows this way. Then it has leaves coming off of it. The leaves turn around and go back up this way, and then another right angle all the way down here, and then another right angle. So it's like it just grows a little bit, and then suddenly decides to take a violent turn. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna escape this garage. It's determined. But it's growing pretty well, and I'm gonna try to get it growing out of some tanks, just because it can't all be pothos. Well, I mean it can, but but you know what I mean. Like I'd like some arrow-shaped ones too. And my wife is working on. Okay, that is going. My wife wants to do some of the pothos and get. We've moved some outside, and she wants to see if she can get it like growing like the monstera, because we've gotten some pretty big leaves like in here in the garage. It's gotten enough nutrients and it's gotten like really happy. So she wants to do that. So she wants to do that again. I'll show you in just a second. Some of those big. Nope. Now this is a 2-gallon tank, so I got to keep my eye on it, folks. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Oh, I can't even. Why, bro? It's going to be a test. I can already tell. I think I did it that time. I did. And that's a 50% water change. Wow. So yeah, right here, like this pothos has grown out of this 20-gallon up here. And I mean, that's my hand right there. So that's definitely bigger than the way it was growing at my mom's house, which is where we got it from originally. And there's an even bigger one than that over here. Let's see if I can get that for you. Like over, well, like this one, like that is like the size of my hand. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest one we got on here right now. Oh, there might be a bigger one in the back, but yeah, very cool. So yeah, no, the pothos has been doing well, as you can see. It doesn't always do well, and when all the leaves fall off a great length of it, I coiled some up and put it in a bag, like that you would get at a convenience store, like your standard like plastic bag that you get from like shopping or whatever. And I meant to throw it away, but being here in the fish room and stuff like that, and being, you know, left to my own devices, it sat there for a while. Well, it sprouted leaves and roots while it was in the bag, I guess, just out of the moisture in the fish room air. Yeah, pretty fun stuff. Cheryl Smith says, you got some pool filter sand that is bright white, at least for a little while. Yeah. Yeah, it never stays that bright. Yeah, it ends up getting stuff on it. Yeah, Vibes was real impressed with the the play sand that I've got, which is your standard quickcrete play sand. But I clean it real good just because I don't like all that silt in there and stuff like that. But if you lay it in there and then push the water on it gently and stuff like that, it stays settled. You don't have to rinse it. I do believe people when they say that, but I believe I've had less problems with silica related problems because of it, because of my rinsing of it and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know, that play sand is like, it's got a lot of stuff in it, but it's not clay. You know what I mean? I've gotten sand from places and stuff like that, and it's like, well, half of that was clay, which I guess is good for plants, but at the same time, it's just like just makes muddy water for me. I don't like it. Oh, so Steven, my question was, I was talking with somebody at a fish store, and I was asking about pearlweed, and they were like, "You're gonna need like pretty bright light for pearlweed and CO2." And I've seen like Lucas just like floating it in tanks and like growing tons of it, and like he is not even using a filter. I doubt he's using like high end lights. Like I feel like she might have been referring like in order to like get a carpet in like a standard tank. You know what I mean? That like that is pretty tall, like a 20-gallon tall. You know what I mean? Where you're like, what is that? Like that's like 24, so like 2 feet deep. You know what I mean? Like, but I was like, is pearlweed like difficult? I mean, like I would think that it's difficult to carpet, but she was acting like it was a difficult plant, and I was like, I feel like I've seen that it's not, but is there something I'm missing? Yeah, Bougie, I was thinking about that because what you've got blue on the celestial pearl danias, so you gotta have like, yeah, you gotta have like some chili rasboras. You know what I mean? Like definitely like something orange. No, you okay? Yeah. So she must have not been knowing like what plant I was talking about, or because I know there's some that like look like pearl weed that have small leaves like that, like dwarf baby tears. Easier to do with CO2. Definitely wouldn't be able to do a carpet without CO2, but you could have it live in a tank without CO2. It would still be one of your more difficult plants. It's not tiger balm. We'll say that. Mmm, delicious. I didn't get any that time. Almost though. It got close. Woo! Yeah, so my caney are no more. I haven't seen my caney in like 2 weeks now, and I've looked for him, so I think he's gone. He wasn't looking right, and all of them went away. There's like something up with this tank. I don't know what it is, but there was something up with those caney. I don't know what the problem was, but that last one was the last one, and he started like not swimming on the bottom anymore, and I just never figured out what it was. And I never had enough of an idea to actually like throw some medication at it or anything like that. Maybe so, but that's the way it goes. But they lasted like a good long time, and I added one, not this May, but the previous May. I added one, and it was already an adult when I got it. But yeah, something was up in there. I don't know what. My BlueDream shrimp tank has detritus worms in it, so I got that going for me. But yeah, I might put something in there that grabs at those. But yeah, this is my tank. This is my tank that was green. It's no longer green. Now this one's green. And this one's got babies in it now. So I'm excited about that. Maybe I'll have something other than swordtails and guppies to sell at an auction. I haven't entered an auction this season. There's been an event the same weekend as uh, Skippers, and Jeff has had a couple auctions. Jeff was saying his next one is in August, and then I think Skipper was going to do one this month. I want to say the 17th or something, so that hasn't happened yet. Is that coming up this weekend? Um, these coral platies. Oh goodness, it just had a first name on the bag. Eduardo, but it was somebody ALA or ACA. At that Lone Star Cares event in San Antonio last month in June. But no, I didn't meet the person that I didn't make the connection with the person who was selling those fish. I may have met them, but I didn't. I didn't get their fish because they bred them. So I don't know who it was. And this is the last tank we're doing with this one. But they're having babies and everybody looks great. So they're basically off quarantine now. I've got another group in quarantine over here. Granted, they don't have lids and they're next to each other. So, I mean, like, I'm not doing a great job. This tank, being shorter than the tank next to it, has been a better quarantine tank. But it's already full of fish, so you know how that goes. Had to make a new quarantine tank. So now this thing can dry out. And once it's completely dry, I feel pretty good about it. Just got 4 on the bottom to deal with. But I don't know that I'm going to do that on screen because Such a pain in the butt. I got to squat down to get under there. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. So there's 4 tanks on the floor, and I got to get the bucket far enough away because it all slopes towards the front of the garage over there. So I got to get it far enough away and start the siphon. Not fun. Saturday, July 19th. Yeah. I don't know. Is anybody interested in swordtails or Gambusia Collection Point, Brushy Creek? Is that something you would bid on? Because I do have time now that I'm doing my water changes tonight. I do have time to make a video for Skipper so that I can put those up there because I'll be working. I'm still working. Love to work. Oh my goodness, look at all the color drain out of the screen. This looks like a horror flick. Zombie mode. All right, let's get you guys looking at something cool. There's my neglected ponds. Pearlweed and Monte Carlo are the same genus. That's probably what it was. You know what I mean? Like, I was just unsure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not right, but I'm not going to freaking tell you that because I'm not confident enough. That's probably what she was thinking of was Monte Carlo. I bet you that's what it was. Yeah, but I got those at that ALA auction, so I don't know whether they got those corals from Dan or not, but they're beautiful. My wife was real pleased with those when I brought them home. She was like, okay, I see it. She was like, I like the ones with the black spots all over them. I was like, yeah, I was like, and wait till tomorrow. Like, they're going to color up some more. She was like, those other ones are white. And I was like, those other ones were light blue in the bag before I shook them all the way home from San Antonio, listening to rock and roll music with Eddie. That's my favorite part of the trip is letting Eddie pick CDs out of my car to play. He really likes the countrypolitan hits that I have from Southern Culture on the Skids. Those songs like Funnel of Love, Rose Garden. So yeah, I think some of those Gambusia are going to go in the this tank right here. But these pots that I have hanging on the edge, I pulled them out of the water, and the vegetation that was in there over winter rotted in there and stuff like that. So before I put any fish in there and stuff like that, I want to get all stinky muck out of there. You know what I mean? And get them set up, get the water quality a little bit better, which it should be relatively quickly. But they're mosquito fish, so they're going to do fine. Probably if I just put them in there now. But if I have obvious rot in there and all I have to do is take those out and rinse them, you know what I mean? Like, if you can do better, right? Like everybody says. It's 11:11 p.m. in Central Texas, capital city. Nice and quiet, except for the cicadas and some crickets and some frogs, all of them screaming for water. Probably not actually screaming for water at this point in time. That was true in June. That is not true in July. Since we got all the rain, I hadn't seen my Texas fence lizards, my little scaly lizards, but one was hanging out with me today while I was getting ready to do the yard work. Hanging out on the edge of the porch and watching for bugs to cross the threshold out of the grass, like over the concrete, and was snacking and was sitting probably 6 feet from me. There was a chair in between us, you know what I mean? So it felt safe, you know what I mean? But like I was happy with how close the lizard was to me. We were vibing. It was nice. And there's a cardinal family that's been around for several years now, and they're all doing well. And I saw them this morning as well. And something has been rooting around in the lawn that is all soft and eating roots and bugs and things. Either a possum or an armadillo, from the looks of it, from my experience with Texas animals. So, pretty cool time. But I cut the lawn. Well, it's not really a lawn, it's more of a meadow thing going on with clover and stuff like that. There's now patches of dirt because we didn't get rain for a minute and some things died off, stuff like that. So it's looking patchy. So it's going pretty well. I am getting rid of the monoculture in my front yard of St. Augustine. I'm happy if it all goes away. I'd like to just put raised beds in my front yard. We don't have an HOA. What are they going to do? Chat got quiet. Is everybody eating ice cream? Is me showing my ponds just depressing everybody? Yeah, pond season never really started over here. We just have the pond from last year. I haven't really done anything. I'd like to get the water moving again, but I'm not even sure those pumps are going to work. And they're buried inside of those trash cans. No, no, they're in the water, so I can replace the pump. I think I have another pump, so I can get one of them working. Pizza. Okay, well, that's good, Ben. I like that. So, onward with the magic. Let's go back through this zombie living room. It just doesn't have enough light in it, is what I think it is. I think that's why it just pale out. Like my glasses aren't even really that red anymore. so dreary in the living room. Proof of life. They were watching me, and then I turned the camera on, and they're like, "Oh, we're supposed to be doing stuff. Quick, swim around. Look like a goldfish." But then we come out here in the fish room. The color comes back. The air is moist. I smell. I smell fish tank water. I smell duckweed drying on the inside glass from tanks that are now 30% down. You know, the good stuff. Let's see if I can plug this thing back in. We're going to do the hard part. I got a couple buckets over here. We can do it. We can do it. Ugh. So if I set you guys back over here, can we get a view downwards? Yeah, we can. Works. Just feeding out moina to the apistos. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Keep those live foods going. Everybody's on flake and prepared foods in my fish room right now. I kept black worms going for a month. I basically slowly tortured them to death, but the whole colony didn't die until like a month later, so that was good. And I had whatchamacallit? Well, I had Daphnia and Paramecium cultures from Creekwood Aquatics, and I kept them alive in the jar for a week and a half, and then they went south on me. So we're getting better. We're not killing stuff in 3 days. You know what I mean? We're doing good work here. We're doing good work. All right. Where are the things that I need? But yeah, it's a process, and I'm going to help Creekwood Aquatics keep their stuff going by. So you sit on a bucket, stretch this as far as we can this way. And then sometimes we can get it going, but not every time. This is where it gets tricky. There we go. We got it. We almost got it. We didn't get it. Ah, tricky. There's still some water in the line. I see what they're doing. Nope. Let's see. This isn't gonna work. That's right. We got other stuff to try. All right. So I'm just using a hose that has like a pump on it, and I got it going. So we're doing pretty good. It's a much smaller hose, so it's going to take a lot longer. And it's on the floor, so it's flowing slower. But yeah, I took down 4 20-gallon longs to get that low boy in here, and I put 2 of them over here, and they're ready for plants. They have Gambusia, Collection Point, Brushy Creek, and then my dirted tank. I have probably 10 Crebensis, and they are freaking out because they've been in a murky water, completely filled with plants, dirted tank for their entire lives, and they're way exposed here on the floor. They do not like it. There's one coconut cave, so definitely the tank boss is sitting inside there right now. You know what I mean? The strongest one has shelter. Everybody else has the sponge filter in the back, and that's it. Does anybody feel like being the voice of reason and showing me something that's going on in your fish room, or interact with the chat? I can put out a link if you're interested, but no pressure. I understand that it's late at night for most, you know what I mean? So if you're already cuddled into bed and everything, I understand. Messiah, hello. Welcome, welcome. How are your fish? We're changing water. We're doing the 4 tanks that are on the bottom. So this is the anticlimactic part of the draining, but everything out here is drained. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 plus 9 is 26. So 26 tanks emptied. Not counting the low boy yet. It doesn't have water in it. That don't count. That don't count as no tank. It's just a dream at this point. It's not a tank yet. Got to put water in it. Someone say that you have to have water and fish in there in order to call it a tank. I don't think that's true. But yeah, let's see. Well, I've got 4 5-gallon buckets full of plants and water. So I definitely need to do something with those. I need to at least tip out the water and put in more water. Um, but these 2 tanks here are sanded, and I've got piles of gravel in different spots underneath the sand for so that we can plant things, have some sort of escape going on. Have you guys been seeing the trend with the plants where they have water in the ceramic pot and then they have moss and small plants hanging on the outside of the pot? So when that pot sweats and stuff like that, it gives them water. Have you guys been seeing that trend? I've seen like more than one person doing it. And that seems pretty cool to me. And that's kind of the idea of what I want to do on these lava rocks that are going to be in the low boy, the lava rocks that are coming out of the water. I want some small plants and stuff like that. And then if those plants like get too big, I can just pull them out of the scape and then plant them, and they can be like a thing in the house. You know what I mean? But I want some small little cute plants. So I can kind of have like an island thing going on. I think that would be fun. We now have a half bucket of water. You did a bunch of water changes yesterday. The fish are doing well. Got some new coral red platies in quarantine. Excellent. I have blue coral. The back of them is red, but the front of them is blue and white. And I got those at that Lone Star Cares convention in the auction, and there's babies in there. I was removing the duckweed, and there's no substrate in that tank, and there's styrofoam underneath the tank. So where there's not any plants, it's white. So I could see their silhouette when they were swimming around, but they're all on the bottom. And that tank turned green this week. So good for Fry. Amen. Didn't do it on purpose. Don't have the skill for that or anything like that. It just happened. I guess I'm that good. We all get lucky every once in a while. I recommend keeping 26 tanks in your garage because there's always going to be one of those tanks that's doing really well for no apparent reason. You know what I mean? You can just leave it to chance. You know what I mean? You always have a few good ones. I think about 2/3 full is about all I'm going to get into a bucket because the water level is getting to be the same water level as is in the tank. So now I'm moving on to the next tank. My black skirt tetras, they're doing well. I put some sand and gravel in the bottom of that tank, and they seem a lot happier with it. But they definitely stay together as a group, and they come out timidly and eat. So the group stays back, and then a few dart forward at a time for the flake because I feed at the front of my tank because I like to see my fish. So they're still being timid, but like they started eating on day 4. So they were definitely they were definitely they were definitely skittish for a second, but they're doing a lot better now. Hey, crackers. I guess afternoon where you're at. Good to see you, sir. Doot, 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 doot. We're about halfway there on this second shelf, folks. Riveting. Oh, you. Well, that took forever. All right, here we go. There we go. I can see the chat from here, so this is actually kind of nice. So I did listen to. What was I listening to today? Oh, been on a Beastie Boys kick. I think I listened to Check Your Head today, which is the one that has Sabotage on it. And if you're not mowing your lawn listening to Beastie Boys singing Sabotage, like, I don't know, you're missing out. I'll tell you that. With the Sure Shot, sure to make your body rock. It was quite a Monday. Yeah, I just opened one of the old ones that I had set up on Restream. I didn't even schedule anything. I just went into the studio and hit live. Nobody was live, and it was like 9:30 here, and I was uh, like I got to do some water changes, but I also wanted to hang out somewhere while I did water changes, so that I could take breaks and come over and see what the chat was talking about and like watch a live stream. So you know what I mean? Like if what you want to be happening is not happening, you got to step in that gap and you got to make it happen. So that's what I'm doing here, guys. And this is reminiscent of those streams during lockdown when we were hanging out for 4 or 5 hours together. You know what I mean? Like just hanging out, vibing, listening to music, and then not posting the stream afterwards. Just deleting it. They can't copyright strike you if you don't leave it up long enough. But yeah, Jose and I were talking about that last week when we were together. He was like, "Yeah, man, there used to just be hangout streams where you just kind of just freaking like hang out." And he was like, and they'd be like on for like several hours, so you go away and come back, and there'd be different people in there and stuff like that. And I was like, "Yeah, man, that was the time." I was like, because he was asking me, he was like, "So like, why are you doing an hour and a half?" And I was like, "Man, like I want to do my part. You know what I mean? Like I love the live stream and the chat so much that I want to do my part, you know what I mean? And I want to do a live stream so that people can come and hang out in my chat. And I want other people to do live streams so that I can hang out in their chats. And I was like, and an hour feels too short, and an hour and a half sometimes feels too short, but it also feels like the right amount of time. And because of my procrastination and stuff like that, like I've got to work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So 12-hour shifts. So there's not a lot of time for water changes then. So all my water changes have to still be done. So an hour and a half and then like turn it off and then do the water changes seems to be the way. But this is kind of nice. And my phone doesn't charge with a cord anymore. I have to put it on a magnetized like thing, like lay it on there. So my phone that I use to like watch the tank, it sometimes cuts out before before the stream is over. Um, it really sucks the battery. Of course, I'm using an iPhone 8 Plus, so I could probably be getting better battery usage out of a more current phone, but that's a nightmare that I would rather not participate in until it's absolutely necessary. But I think our phones have been paid for a while. So we could possibly get new equipment. I'd like to do it without getting rid of my current equipment because I'd like to just not have a SIM card in it and just have it hooked up to Wi-Fi and like just use it as a camera still and use it to video because my phone has 256 gigs on it, so I don't have to pay for cloud storage. Craig's Music Television. Yeah, you love the beasties. That's what I'm talking about. Running water knows what's up. Yeah, no, exactly. Like I like seeing like Craig's streams and stuff like that. And what he's doing it in like I guess it would be the afternoon is the early morning, late afternoon, evening is like the wee early hours of the morning, like like 3 to 5 in the morning here. It's starting to get towards evening, I guess. But Craig's cleaning it like Craig, you know what I mean? Like giving me the inspiration. He's inspired me several times when I was lazy. Oh, we lost Blow. Time for a new bucket. There we go. We're doing it now. But yeah, I really need to do something with this junk that I have piled up on the side of the stand here. Got junk piled there, and I got junk piled up over there next to the fishing poles and stuff like that. And that's all like lids and hang on the back filters. And this over here, I'm not sure what all that is. Probably stuff that needs to be organized, get rid of what I don't need, and put inside those cabinets that ladder's leaning against. I think there's room in there. I don't know. I haven't opened up those cabinets in a while, as you can see from the pile of crap that I've got sitting right there. Great angle, though. I'm not looking my thinnest at this angle, but that's all right. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew that I wasn't small. Take up a lot of room. Big, big and loud. If you're big and loud, you got to be proud of it. You know what I mean? Like it's the only way. Maybe I'll put up some endlers. All right. One more tank. And then you guys get to see how cool my filling setup is. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Don't fall asleep yet. Don't fall asleep yet. I'm going to show you my DC pump from Jabal. We'll see if every time I plug it in, it sparks. We'll see if the sparks show up on 720p or whether they don't. We could dim the lights in here and then I'll plug it in. You'll be like, whoa, it's like firecrackers. Yeah, maybe I'll get a group of these endlers. together, just because I feel bad, like always like auctioning the same two items. You know what I mean? Like everybody's seen it. I mean, like I guess not everybody's seen it. There's different people in and out, right? Not everybody makes every auction, but come on now. I thought I grabbed a mosquito out of the air. I thought I was cool. Nope. Who could sleep anyway, right? Making a huge mess, but that's a problem for tomorrow. I was talking about pearlweed earlier, and it got you in the mood to trim your tank. That's what I'm talking about, man. We inspire each other. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching Craig like clean some tanks and stuff like that. It's like, well, I've been talking about doing water changes online for 3 days. I guess it's time to go ahead and do that. I'll be like, thank you, Craig. You inspired me to clean some tanks. He's like, you're welcome, mate. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's about. Community. Because I mean, really, like that's why I do this. You know what I mean? Like I do it because like I like hanging out with all you guys. And we all live in different places, so I wouldn't be able to hang out with you as individuals on the regular if I wasn't using the internet. And sure, there's plenty of people in Austin to go hang out with. They're not into fish, so they're not into fish, and I have to go somewhere. And more increasingly, they need a large amount of my money for me to stand there. And it's just like, I already have a place that I pay for. Why shouldn't I be there? You know what I mean? And I'm 48. I'm not throwing house parties. You know what I mean? Like I don't want a bunch of people in my house. So that's where internet and video technology come together. And this is my preferred mode of socializing. It's a little bit one-sided, but I'm branching out. I'm on mic drop now. You know what I mean? Like I'm on a panel on the regular. You know what I mean? I got an interview tomorrow. Things are happening. You know what I mean? Like shaking it up. It's not all me like talking at you while you text. You know what I mean? Like doesn't have to be. I like it though. I could talk, talkity, talk. But no, I love the interaction. I love that I don't have to go anywhere. It's the best. Something just moved. Something. Oh my goodness. Well, I had a whatchamacallit. That's hilarious. I had a power strip mounted to the side of my fridge with some really sticky double-sided tape. It was kind of silicone-y, you know what I mean? It was thick. Anyway, with the weighted block of the cord for the laptop here, it was too heavy and it pulled it off of the fridge. And my TV is also plugged into that. So my TV on the ceiling is now at a 45-degree angle. And when the thing fell to the ground, it pulled the TV at a 45-degree angle. And then it reset. And then, like, there was I've got like a Google, what do they call it? Google Chrome, the piece that plugs into it. The Google version of the Amazon Fire Stick. You know, Kleenex, Coke. Um. Anyway, it reset itself, and then there was like the little Google symbol, like turn it back on. I was like, that's hilarious. I'm a driver. I'm a winner. Things are gonna change. I can feel it. Yeah, Ben, I threw that quote out in a live stream the other day. Soy un perdedor. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Something, something, something in a bozo nightmare. Kill all the music with a phony gas chamber because one's got a something and another's got a thing. Yeah, man, I had all the lyrics to it last night. I was feeling it. We're almost there, folks. Then we get to fill up a bucket, a trash can bucket. We're gonna have to do that twice and use a pump to pump water into all these tanks. We're gonna have to use water conditioner. This is where the rubber meets the road. Things really speed up coming up. Everybody, everybody, get ready. Get ready, because this ain't funny. My name is Mike D, and I'm about to get money. MCA was with it, and he's my ace. So I grabbed the piano player and I punched him in the face. The piano player's out. The music stopped. I grabbed two girlies and a beer that's cold. You know what I mean? Like they brought it. They brought a certain something to the scene. You know what I mean? Like nobody's rhyming jabroni anymore. You know what I mean? Like jabroni. All right. Both of those need to dry completely out. All right. Keeping track of things. Let me dump this water. Hey, stop looking at my shorts. Eyes up here. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. It's a wonder my parents didn't kill me while I was growing up. Ooh. All right, let's see if we can get some of this water to make the yard instead of just the yard. Yep, driveway's still wet. All right, here we go. Oh, much better. Hey, who mowed this lawn? It looks so good. Paul's Boutique. There in Brooklyn. Ooh, the moon is low, 2/3 full, looking kind of yellow and shining through some thin clouds. just over my neighbor's roof. Looking real Scooby-Doo out here. All right, guys, that means the water's on. Didn't pull enough hose. I had a nickel for every time. Pulled out his jammer, he aimed it at the sky. He yelled, drink him up, and that too far. Yeah, you've been chanting that. I get songs stuck in my head. Here, wait, let me get the. Nothing wrong with me. So yeah, I'm wearing my thank you shirt from Fishy Biz. He gave me the shirt because I always wish Aquafunk a happy birthday. So he sent this to me to thank me for doing that. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. It could be for something else, but pretty sure it was the Aquafunk thing. That's who I missed, but I know that dude has a lot on his plate right now. So hopefully he will be back to live streaming again soon when he has time and motivation. But I know that that dude has more plates spinning than a lot of us. A lot more plates than me for sure. I purposely have purchased less plates, and I only spend one plate at a time, and I don't do it very well. I got you that time, right there. 8 million more to go. So yeah, I use a Jabal pump. What I've got 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch hose. There's a little thing right there. There's a little box you plug in. That's also how I drain water from the 75 gallon. I just stick the pump into the 75 gallon. Get it about a third of the way down. I don't want to suck air into the FX6, so it has to stay above that that intake. But yeah, this might be the coolest water change of the summer, temperature wise. Let's get a thing. Let's get a temperature reading. You know what I mean? We have the equipment. We might as well do it. 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit coming out of the tap. Eat it, Stephen P. 82.4. That's cold water for this time of year. I don't even have to worry about how much water I change in my discus tank because it's 82 degrees. All my fish love a warm bath. There's so many mosquitoes in here. All right. Dark out here. I'm gonna remedy that. The porch light isn't on, so let me go remedy that real quick. Riddle me this, Batman. My porch light isn't on, so every bug in my yard flew in this garage door while I was filling that garbage can. But, you know, I'm not complaining. Straight facts. See, thanks for giving a happy birthday wish to Aquafun. That's what it says. Have a great day, Saya. Bougie, 78. Not even August. Man, you did a lot of trimming. Missed that one. Gotta look. That's right, Bougie. There's always tomorrow. I mean, like, you can't convert all your Pokemon all at once anyway. You have to do it in stages. Final four. I think that might be pretty cool. And where all that foam is, I'm going to either put bags of substrate to set it up on top of, or I was actually thinking about building stuff out of lava rock, the smaller lava rock, building pillars and stuff like that. So it could be also like a hide under there for the fish to get under it. Quite a trip. All right. Now's when things get moving. Here we go. Oh yeah, that wet duckweed smell. We'll start up top. All right. Now we're doing things. All I bought was the Python hook. And for those of you with asthma and in the know, I have something cool to show you. A piece that I use that you might recognize. In this end, T-piece, little expandable tube. Waste not, want not, people. Look at this. Yeah, hanging in the, good to go. Got to be careful. Got to make sure that this is out of the top of the water before I unplug the piece that goes into here. Otherwise, the flow goes backwards and fish end up in this tube. Ask me how I know. Jeff Kane, take a nap. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double shot, 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 double shot. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. But here we go. Hold on, it's here somewhere. I'm about to lose my headphone. Don't lose your headphone. Keep it together, buddy. Let's go for it. See if you guys can see this. No, can't see it. Oh well. But yeah, it sparks when I put it in there. That's how you know. That's how you know it's good. But yeah, I think I still have another one of these in the box. I bought 4 of them at the same time. Used 2 of them on my pond. We used 1 of them in here. And I think I still got 1 on the shelf. And then I had to go raid another one of these boxes because the one on my whatchamacallit stopped working. It would only do low. That was one of them. The other one stopped working. So yeah, I think I'm down to like 2. But whatever, man. I only need 1 for water changes, so I'm still doing pretty good. What is going on with these fish? Mosquitoes everywhere. Good night, Moon. Good night, Jeff. But good morning, Debs, and good afternoon, Craig. Hilarious. Does anybody here in the world, in the room, have any questions that you want me to ask Mexicali tomorrow? I know there's an interview style. He's going to ask me a bunch of questions about me and stuff, but I figure after I do all that, I should be able to ask him a question. So is there anything anybody wanted to know about Jorge that I can ask him tomorrow? I'm sure after I get done talking to him for an hour, or so, I'm sure I'll have a question for him as we go along. So I'll get one in for sure. But just if anybody had an idea or something you wanted to know. Sure was fun. It sure was fun hanging out with him. We had a cigar, and then we had lunch, and then we went to a fish store. So I mean, like, can you get closer to another person than that? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have to say I'm in a serious relationship with Mrs. Callie, a serious fish relationship. Because I haven't had a cigar with Eddie, but I've definitely eaten with Eddie several times. I've gone to several fish shows with him, and I've gone to several fish stores with him. I've definitely eaten and gone to a fish store with Fathom. I don't know whether I've been to a fish store with Chris George. I don't think I have. But we've been to that coffee shop place together several times. So, like, we've eaten and had a drink together several times, not counting fish events. Uh, Gone for ice cream with Grant and Shelby like at least 3 times now. And we went to Mongolian barbecue. So, I mean, like, that's some next level stuff. There were a bunch of people at the Mongolian barbecue. There were like probably like 30 people. No, 20. I don't know. The whole sense of scale was off at that place because they like cook on a big like hot surface and there's like 9 guys around it. We got some footage of that somewhere. Bougie Bish Fish, my stream with Mexicali is tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time. So 4 p.m. June Oscars time. And 7 o'clock Eastern. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, he was talking with, want to say Andre, but that's not right. But he was talking with Mr. Creekwood Aquatics today, actually. So there's a rewatch out there, folks. I'm probably going to watch that later. Maybe I'll watch it after mine. I don't want too much pressure. That guy's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have just watched that interview and then, like, during my interview, be thinking about it the whole time and being like, oh, this isn't as good as the one yesterday. Better to not know. You know what I mean? Like, it might make me act weird, which we all know I'm going to do that anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not doing anything that might make it more weird than it already is. It gets faster as it keeps going. Let me grab this box so I can show you guys this filter that I'm using. So this has an 8-foot pump height, which means it'll push water up 8 feet off the ground. So I can fill those tanks near the ceiling. It does it slowly, but it does it. We all watched it do it. But yeah, I got the 2500 here. There's different sizes. And the 2500, this one that I've got right here, is rated for 660 gallons per hour, which 6 gallons a minute, maybe. Here we are. Keep an eye on this tank here, because my guys get the zoomies. Oh man, now it's blowing sand all around. Occasionally this piece pops up. There you go. Occasionally that piece pops off, like once every 7 tanks pops off. But that's still pretty good. And I like the fact that it doesn't, because otherwise the water comes out at a pretty good clip and it messes with the substrate. And I don't like a hole blown in the substrate in the front of my tanks. It's not how I like to do it. I should ask Mexicali what his guilty pleasure is in fish keeping is, or what he thinks the bougiest fish is. He'll never guess. He'll never guess that you got me to ask him that question. What's the bougiest fish you keep? He'll be like, did Bougie Bish Fish tell you to say that? And I'll be like, no. I'll say it in a way that makes it look like I'm not doing a very good job of covering up. But yeah, what his guilty pleasure in fish keeping is. That's a good question. I wonder what my guilty pleasure in fish keeping is. Oh, probably like my guilty pleasure in fish keeping is just doing water changes by like just draining, taking the duckweed off, just draining the tank 20% and filling it back up and like calling that good. I do that most of the time. I do that most of the time. And then I also like try to like have some fun and like mess around one night and like uh not do water changes type stuff. Like actually like because I'll scrub the glass on the tank that I'm going to show that night. Once a month, I get up the gumption and I wipe the tops of all of these tanks and stuff like that to get all the extra duckweed food and stuff like that off of them. Like there's dried duckweed like right up here. Well, you can't see it on the tops of these tanks. Can you see that? See, it's not. See that white stuff? I'll do that, but like the whole way around all the tanks. Like, and I'll just do like this shelf system one night, and then like another time I'll do that one. Although that one's going to be a lot easier now that there's just two tanks, a 40-gallon and a 50-gallon. It's a pretty cool rack now. But yeah, it's the rack that's in the middle here, so it totally changes the whole fish room, man. I'm loving it. I'm very excited. But yeah, no, my guilty pleasure is like minimal maintenance. And my reliance on 720p to make my tanks look good. You can't see hair algae till 1080p or HD. You know what I mean? 720, you ain't going to see the hair algae. It's invisible. Pixels are too big. Have I seen those 3D printed prototype diffuser that's on Amazon? Would probably work slightly better than what I have now. Yeah, it would. And Jason was printing some of those, and he's got screens that fit on the Python that like clip on with different grid sizes. I've thought about getting some of those from him. I might ask him when I see him at the Clash. Sometimes it's better to ask about things while we're drinking and then follow up afterwards. Um, but yeah, I have seen those. It would probably work better than what I've got, but this is all stuff that I would have thrown away while I was at work. This is all for whatchamacallit, breathing treatments, the vaporizer. Is right there. You got the zoomies, brother? You gonna do it, or you just gonna lay around? Hey, hey. Water's too hot. Everybody's ticked off. They want to eat. They're mad at me. Like, he's standing there. Why isn't he feeding us? What a jerk. I gave those rosy barbs duckweed to eat. They're not eating it. Nobody wants the duckweed this week. but it'll be gone tomorrow. Like they get after it, somebody will start eating it, and then other people and the other guys will start eating it. But they're not eating it right now. Everybody's sitting around waiting for flake, just like life, man. Everybody's just sitting around waiting for free flake, right? Get a job. Get a job. $9? That's pretty good. It's not bad at all. All right, running water. I was talking about that too with the zoomies, with the coolie loaches after a water change. Is it the water change, or is it the water conditioner that makes them jump? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're almost to the bottom of the trash can. Yeah, no, $9 isn't bad, especially when it's something that I will use every week. Like I'm into that. All right. Whoa, almost lost an earpiece. I hate it when the earbud comes out and lands in the freaking. Hate it when it lands in the whatchamacallit, in the soup, in the tank. It's break time, y'all. But yeah, man, we're halfway there. Oh man, I have a coffee emergency. I reused the 7-Eleven cup one too many times. This this paper's soggy. I watched you change like you never. The smoke break is brought to you by Tucci's Southside Subs. Good stuff. Boar's Head. Guy's from the East Coast. Uses his mother's recipe for bread. Has a Mexican bakery down the street. Make his bread every day. When they run out of bread, they put the close sign up and it says, "We're out of bread. See you tomorrow." No sprouts, no avocado, 3 different types of peppers. They have a cold menu and a hot menu. About 10 choices of each. So good. Whew. Somebody scared a skunk, ladies and gentlemen. Or the widow next door started smoking weed. Time will tell. I'm trying to keep my voice down out here because it's getting towards midnight. I think my neighbor sleeps with her window open. I have disturbed her before. Well, not me, but drunk Mike. That guy's pretty loud. Yeah, running water. I'm not sure either, but that's the way it goes. Hey, Craig, if you're talking to Jeff Kane, I believe he has already gone to bed, unless he was just trying to see whether I was going to talk about him while he was gone. And if that's the case, I just want to say Jeff Kane is a real one, y'all. He's a nice guy. He's always treated me pretty fair. I like that. I'm kind of jealous of his fish room, but he put in a lot of work. I feel like he deserves it. Or his running water's named Jeff as well. There are a lot of Jeffs. Not as many as there are Mikes, but it's true. I've had HHD's comment up for hours. Let's do this one. You guys are a riot. You know, times like these are made for taster's choice. Yeah, man, it's easier to tell the truth. Way easier. I just don't make time for that anymore. I'm not into the game playing. Could never be a spy. Oh, it's Che. Well, nice to know your name, Che. He does have a big beard. And you've got a big dog. Yeah, man, the cicadas sing 24 hours a day. I assume some of them are sleeping at some point, but they spend 7 years underground, so maybe they're awake the whole time that they're alive, since they're only alive for a season. Maybe I should look up some information about cicadas, stuff like that. And then every third question that Jorge asked me, tomorrow I'm going to be like, the cicada. You know what? I didn't see Diver Man, I don't think, at Aquashella this year. Must have had something else to do. But I like seeing that guy. And he's always in character. I've seen him like come up on live streams and stuff, and he's Diver Man. It takes a lot of commitment. I admire that fellow for that. Oh, we got a bucket of water to fill, folks. Let's do it. We got to cross the abyss one more time. Feel the inside training me. Oh, we got to get to the fish room. So much better. Rainbow of difference. Look at all the colors. All the colors. All right. There we go. Let's do this. After midnight. We're gonna let it all hang out. So we're still way inside the city limits of Austin. But we're in this nice little quiet spot, except for some traffic noise and the cicadas. I'm the loudest guy on the block, and I'm filling a trash can with water. So it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. I like it. So my neighbor across the street bought a Volkswagen thing, and he had one when he was in his 20s, and he ended up getting into an accident. And being in his 20s, he wasn't able to replace it. But now that he's an older gentleman like myself, he's got one again. You know what I mean? And you see him out there. He's working on it. Pulls it into the garage on the weekend. He's working on it when I'm going to work away from him. So I'm just happy to see people enjoying hobbies. You got to do something. You Can't just work and eat, work and do chores. Got to do something else, something fun. And fish keeping changed my life when the world was making all of us go through changes and stuff like that. And yeah, I came through the other side of it okay. And I sure do enjoy keeping fish. So, and without the social platform and live streaming and whatnot, I'm not sure I would have stuck with it because it's pretty solitary, you know. So I'm glad that we can come together and socialize like this. Makes a difference. YouTube saved my life, man. You'd think I'd be more thankful, play the game, but I'm getting everything that I wanted out of YouTube already. You know what I mean? Like hanging out in the middle of the night with you fine folks, bouncing my bouncing my feet off of satellites and stuff, talking to people in Australia. Way bigger than I ever dreamed. I love that. Oh, we're almost full. We're gonna fill it to the tippy top since I don't have to drag it back inside the garage. We got quite a few more tanks to fill. I might have to do another spot of filling because I'm filling all the tanks to the brim. So with evaporation and whatnot, I have to put a little bit more than I took out. And I took out two trash can fulls. So it might take two and a third to get it, and it wouldn't hurt to have some water sit till tomorrow evening so that I can have some aged water to put into my shrimp tank. So I have two 20-gallon shrimp tanks that I got to change water in. All right, there we go. Moon's a lot higher now. It's moving fast. Let's see. Probably won't show up as cool as it looks to the human eye, but I'll grab the computer and bring it out here real quick so that you can bring it, bring it, bring it. Let me show you the moon. Scooby-Doo like. Have a good day, Debs. We did it. All right. Let's fill some more tanks. That's where we're at. So I saw a work table surface that you take two pieces of like flat board and you cut a slot in the middle, and then you turn one upside down from the other, so then you make an X standing up. You do two of those, and then you can lay a piece of wood across the top of it, like something like the size of a door, and then you can have a flat space for working on stuff. And then it would all like, you could all take it apart, and then it could like lean up against the wall. And that seemed pretty handy. Yeah, I don't even have it turned on and it's filming. It's kind of a problem with the low tanks. But it fills a lot faster. I still had a couple items I wanted to show last week that I didn't. So on Wednesday, I've got a couple items to share. Just thought about that. And like I said, I'm doing these water changes tonight, so technically ahead of my normal schedule, stuff like that. So might have something creative that I want to do inside of the tank. So you know, maybe we'll plant some plants, stuff like that. Fool around and find out. Well, not too much water on the floor. How you say, just enough? We're almost done with this rack. 4, 8, 12, 17 tanks on this rack, and I do not recommend building a rack like this. There's a better way to do it. It's too tall. Stuff on the floor is no fun to get water out of. The stuff on the ceiling, you have to stand on something to get into the tank. And the whole thing sways. Like, this thing is a freaking safety hazard. So do not. My advice, hindsight being 2020 and whatnot, is don't do that. Don't do that. All right, let's get some water condition. That's all the ones that have water conditions so far. So that's 1, one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One here, one here, one here, 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 2 up here. That takes care of all the rest of the stuff in the fish room. All right, we did it. Let me get this arranged so you guys can see what's going on. Let me see what the chat is saying. What are you saying? Good night, Debs. Well, later, Debs. Debs, I think, is on her way to work. She's in jolly old England. Mosquitoes. It's not very sporting. Got it. Plug in the computer. Hello. Yeah, this glass needs a scrub again, man. I want to say it's been 3 weeks since I scrubbed this glass, which means it's been 4. So once a month, whether it needs it or not, it's actually pretty good. But stuff grows on this glass, but stuff doesn't grow on that glass over there. So wonder what that's about. When I open the door to the garage, natural light comes in and it hits this tank full on the front, and that might be the difference. That might just be all it takes. Because when we're doing laundry and things like that, the light gets turned on over the laundry machine. So everything on that big rack that we just finished, the back of those tanks gets more light because of that. And I feel like that is the reason why there's blackbeard algae on the back side of most of those tanks. But I would like more varieties of plants. So I will work on that. And all the plants that I do have are like overgrowing and stuff like that. So I can always take the stuff with blackbeard algae and just take it off of there. But I don't want to do that necessarily until I want to buy like a curtain or something and hang it from the ceiling there so that then the light from the laundry area is blocked from getting at the tanks. And that would solve that problem. Moving right along. We're getting there. We are going to have to refill one more time, folks. Almost got it done. We've got 3 10-gallon tanks left to fill. And what? They're all missing. So I like 5 gallons. But I need some extra water in there because you need room for the pump. The round things in the wall over the tanks. Oh, those are holes that were drilled in the drywall. Because I live in Texas, and because of all the building standards, and then inspectors that just sign off on stuff. Um, none of the none of the none of the garage walls have any insulation in them. None of the walls in between the rooms in the homes have, just the outside walls have insulation because save money, right? Who cares? I'm not going to live here. I'm just the guy that builds the house. Yeah, building standards are real low here. So I got insulation put in all of the walls and above me in the ceiling. And then I put a heat pump in here. So, and I've got like 1/4 inch styrofoam with the radiant barrier on it. and I turned the radiant barrier towards the garage door because the summers are hot, much more than 80 degrees, and much more than in the winter it is below 80 degrees. So I've got it so that it protects that. So yeah, those were for insulation. So those just need to be mudded. I need to mud and retape the whole thing. And there's a hole in the ceiling back over there. So I need to replace the sheetrock there. And I'd like to paint the whole thing. I think I'd like to paint all the walls and ceiling. I'd like to paint them all black. And then I'd like a forced perspective type, I don't know, cosmic type, mural and stuff like that. So it looks like my aquarium's racks are floating in space. But that's just me. I mean, I haven't put in a mop sink yet. You know what I mean? So like I don't know whether we'll ever get there. Thus far on the opposite side of the room, on the opposite side of the room, I haven't put the I haven't put the I've got the holes that they cut out, but I haven't put them back in yet, and that is insulation sticking out. So lost what's going on there. Just our little secret, our little late night fish room secrets that do look lost. So we gotta fill this trash can one more time. Quite the drag. I do like when you do water changes. I do like that next day. There's like a golden period after you do the water change. Like usually like the next day, get that water clarity. The tanks look so good that next day. I'm very excited about that for tomorrow. That'll give me a chance to do some stuff. There you go. We filled it halfway up. Good job. Good job, everybody. Good time. Later, Devs. All right, so I don't know who I'm more impressed with right now. Probably this thing. You guys watch this one get filled up in a second. Oh, will that box fit there? Only one way to find out. Oh yeah, she'll fit. Get ready. Big buck hunter, anybody? Get ready. Still got a little ways to go on this one. Ugh. There's one more tank to fill after this one. And you guys watched me do all of my water changes except for the 2 shrimp tanks. One of them is inside and the 75 gallon. But I can do that. I can do that tomorrow and get water for the wifey. I might do it tonight. I mean, I've got some inertia, but I'm not going to do it right now. Freaking break time, y'all. I already did way more than I normally do. I mean, I'll normally do it all at the same time on Wednesday nights and stuff like that, but like, I don't want you guys to think I'm a go-getter or something like that. Definitely not that. If I gave you that impression, I'm definitely posing. Because I'm more of a kick back and chill kind of guy. Might have me a Coors Tall Boy. No, I still got coffee. I'm not even remotely tired, but I have a note into the manager to make sure that I'm awake at 5:30 so that I can put a comb in my hair and get logged on so that I can be part of Jorge's stream tomorrow. So have a trouble waking up even to alarms and stuff like that. I have trouble falling asleep and I have trouble waking up. So if I let the boss lady know what time I need to be up, she can come in and encourage me. Yeah, I got another mosquito. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Freaking winning. Freaking winning, man. Got him on the third try. All right, let me move this tray. Sit down here. Catch my, wait, where's my, I changed glasses for the coffee and then never brought it out. Yeah, those are all the male endlers. They're sitting on top of this television stand right here. It's an old school television stand, and I want to put that portrait tank inside of there. But I have to make some modifications to the lid so that the top part of that chest will come off so that I could get to the tank, but the tank will fit in there. And then it'll be like an old television tank. And then it's got a bunch of Endlers and purple Moscows in there to shimmer and be the television. And it'd be cool if had an opening shot of the television, and then it cuts to me. Well, it cuts to the other side of the tank inside of the television, and then I just swing the arm up right here. You know what I mean? Like I'm inside the TV. I don't know. Like I said, I spend a lot of time thinking about things. I spend very little time doing things. But, you know, such is life. Such is life. Yeah, so they blew a bunch of insulation in. I spent money on insulation. The guy across the street with the thing, uh, he has a company. He does the insulation and what window treatments, what the radiant barrier inside of the attic, that type of thing. So I got a nice price. I think I paid $500 for insulation. Um, so I got this garage insulated, and then I put in a heat pump, and the heat pump was $2,000. If I paid somebody to put one in, it would have been four. So for $2,500, I took my garage, which was already sheetrocked, and put insulation and a heat pump in here. And that has been my Texas Power Grid solution. My wife and I sit in here with the fish and keep this place at 80 degrees. And I can run that heat pump with gasoline and a 500 watt. No, can't remember. It's 50 something. 50 is the rating. So I can run it off of a gas generator. I just disconnect the heat pump from the house, and then I connect that to an adapter that goes on the gas generator, and I have 20 gallons of gasoline in here. I could run for 2 days, maybe a little bit more. On gasoline, and I can keep the fridge plugged in, and I can keep the fish room. So we just hang out in here while we're awake. We use a bunch of blankets or fans or whatever. We haven't had the power go out in the summer yet. Um, it's threatened to. It has before, but it's never been for more than 4 hours or something like that. So it wasn't like oh, dang, where really screwed. You know what I mean? It'll be like, it'll be better when it, oh my goodness, it'll be better in a few hours. But yeah, during the heat of the day. But yeah, no, I love that little portrait tank. And I love all those male endlers I pulled out of there. There's some interesting fin shapes and stuff going on. But yeah, I planted that little tank, and all it's got in there is that oyster bubbler. It doesn't have a filter on it. It's just full of plants. So yeah, that's fun. I like that tank. Well, it's 1:18 in the morning, y'all, in Central Texas. I'm done with the water changes, and I'm not sure whether anybody else is on. I doubt it, but we can always look. There you go, sleeper. Thanks for hanging in there. That's hilarious. Jeff Pelham's live, y'all. Why don't we go over there? Where was he 2 hours ago? That's the question. Well, Jeff Pelham's on, guys. Go over there, hang out. I'll catch y'all next time. Till then, this is New Local Austin.